Yeah, because even like with getting, like a job, right? Like that's hard for like anybody. And then
Mhm.
you know that, you're going to need to tick, I'm saying yes when they ask you, you require,
Yeah.
what's it called, sponsorship. You already know that, though.
I always tell people to lie.
Once you
Always
tick
lie.
yes,
Always
It's not
lie.
like
lie.
once,
How can we lie?
Welcome back to another tantalizing episode of Japa Diaries Podcast,
Come on.
where we document the experiences of African immigrants in the diaspora. Of course, today we have another diasporan with us. He goes by the name of Feyi. Feyi, welcome to the podcast.
Welcome, Feyi.
thank you.
Pleasure to meet you.
That's me too, bro.
Can I
Is this
ask
your
how?
yeah? Go ahead.
Faith? No, you go, Bill.
I was going to say, is this your first podcast?
Nah. So I did one, like some years back. Maybe said down. Nah.
You're upset.
Yeah.
Second one, though. Second one, yeah.
It's going to be your best one.
Come on.
But yeah, what are you going to ask, Malik?
No, I was actually going to ask the same thing, actually. Then I was also going to ask, how do you guys know each other?
How do we know each other? See? How do we know each other? Because I have a very specific origin story in my head. And I think for the sake of this podcast, we'll give a slightly more adapted version.
I'm dead.
Relax.
Yes.
It's okay. I don't want to know again. I don't want to know.
I met Feyi at my house. I hosted a game night one time, and yeah,
Okay.
he came through, and I was like, "Hey, nice to meet you."
All right, perfect. So why did you think it would be a great idea to have Feyi on the podcast today?
Okay, so it's been something that I've noticed recently where people will, and this is specifically in the US, right? People will come here, they'll go to school, they'll do the STEM degree, for the more time with the visa and all that stuff. They'll get the right degree, get the right grades, get the right job. And somewhere in the mix, the US work visa lottery says, actually, we don't have space for you here. You have to go.
You be on your way. Thank you so much for all your contribution.
Exactly.
Yes. And it was something that I was seeing a lot. And Feyi was one of the people who had, I guess, fallen victim of the US immigration system. And we wanted to talk about that. Essentially, what happens when you get to that point where you're supposed to now stay and work. And even though you are like a great candidate and everything, it just doesn't work out that way for you.
Yeah.
And so you have to exit the US of A.
Yeah. Because it's also like very competitive and it's mostly luck, right? It's a random lottery system. Then after that falls out, then you're like, what really are my options here?
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
So,
but before we get to that point in the conversation about, Feyi's timeline in the US of A or being a diaspora, talk us through initial Japa. When did you leave your home country, which I'm guessing is Nigeria?
Yeah.
Abdul Salam, not Nigerian. Okay.
What try?
So I left in 2015. In Kentucky, like for school. So 4 years there.
Where is there? What state? What state did you come to school?
Kentucky.
Okay, so
yeah.
Okay, so you went to high school in Nigeria.
Yeah, in Nigeria.
Born, raised.
Yeah.
Then moved to Kentucky for school. To study
electrical.
Okay, so STEM way.
Yeah.
Why the US?
I think like for us, it was either the US, or like the UK, because UK is, closer to home. We have a lot more family there, like aunties there, all of that. So that was, on the table too. But my dad was just kind of used at the US as, you know what I'm saying, better schools, more, like opportunity, with engineering too, all that kind of stuff. So that was really like the decision there.
Are you? How many siblings do you have? Like, were you the guinea pig?
Oh yeah, I was on my one though. Yeah. So it was an experience though.
Yeah, what was Kentucky like?
Man, dog, I always get like that, like, you know what I'm saying, question, right? They're always like, dog, like, was it Kentucky? Low key, it was actually, like, you know what I'm saying, fun, dog. The African, like, you know what I'm saying, community there is
I've
like
heard.
big.
I've heard there's a lot of Nigerians Kentucky.
Nigerians, who else did they again? Congolese, like, you know what I'm saying, Ghanaian. So it was nice, man. I had fun. I'm like, the weather, though, like, obviously, like, wasn't, like, you know what I'm saying, great, but.
Where is Kentucky on the map? This is about like cast. I don't
it's
know
like
Midwest.
It's like Midwest. So it's around like, you know what I'm saying, Tennessee, Ohio. Yeah. So
were you always cautious of like your immigration status while you were at UK? Like, like when you're doing internships and things like that, like did you have a plan for, what kind of has to happen after graduation?
Yeah. Like, you know what I'm saying? For sure. Like a lot of like my friends, like we always, like used to make sure that, status and all that kind of stuff, like it's right, because we know guys that, they missed, like one thing and they had to leave, or something, went wrong and they had to cancel their, like internship and all that kind of stuff. So yeah, the plan was always, like, you know what I'm saying, set, do your internships, graduate, work, on OPT, then you go for, like, you know, the H1B, hope for, like, you know what I'm saying, green card, for, you know what I'm saying, then we didn't really know, like, how, like, hard, like, it actually was, like, get on the H1B, like, based on the odds, and everything, but, yeah, that's what's
okay.
It must be crazy for your life to be such a gamble. Like, imagine that, I'll do all these things right, then hopefully at the end, someone's just rolling the dice.
Yeah, because even, like, with getting, like, a job, right, like, that's hard for, like, anybody. And then you know that, you're going to need to tick, you know what I'm saying, yes, when they ask you, you require, what's it called, sponsorship. You already know that, dog.
I always tell people to lie.
Once
always
you tick
lie.
yes,
always lie.
Like,
why can't we lie?
Guy, once,
because
like, you tick yes, right,
passed.
and you submit, like, in, like, you know what I'm saying, 5 minutes, dog, 70% of, like, the applications that you, like, you know what I'm saying, puts in are just, like, going to come back as, like, an auto, like, you know what I'm saying, rejected. Like, you know what I'm saying, looked at it just based on, this company, like, doesn't, you know what I'm saying, hire. So then the companies that, you know what I'm saying, do are kind of, like, bigger companies. So, you know what I'm saying, Google, Facebook, AMD, NVIDIA, all these guys are, so it's competitive to get into.
Yeah.
So it's hard, man.
And Abimsala does not want us to lie. What do you mean by that?
And I'll tell you why you cannot lie. Because it will cast.
Well,
it's not going to cast. No, because guys, please don't take this advice. I take
no.
You can't actually do this.
I'm not being serious.
You can't actually do this because once you get that job, you're gonna have to fill out that paperwork and to cast.
Yeah, no, but when you fill out paperwork, like, I think that prompt is is mostly a screener. What they really want to know is that, can you legally work in the US? You can.
Yes.
You literally can with OPT and all of that. But all I'm saying that to them, that's just long story. Was they just see this?
So they are phrasing, like,
exactly
just like in that way because they know that you can work, right? But once you just, like, you know what I'm saying, let them know that, hey, dog, like, is a sponsorship.
At some point, will you require?
At some point, exactly. So they don't want to deal with that 2 or 3 years down the line. But if you're a really good candidate and that is not, let's say that's not in the mix of, what we're evaluating for a good candidate, then, and you make it through, you are the best candidate for the job. And at that point, after you can now deliver within the 2 or 3 years in the job, then give them the option to sponsor you. I beg.
So I have, like, a whole, like, that, I don't know, like, how Ishaf would know in the application, right? An internship, and, he went through, like, the process. He now got to, like, the final round. And I think, that's when he came up and, like, everything. He told them, like, I actually don't have like, you know what I'm saying, green card, like, all of that. But I think because, he had made it, like, so, like, far in, they liked him, they made it work. So like they had to learn, the paperwork, like just like for that summer to still be able, like to make it work like for him. But after though, they told him that, I'm saying,
we can't keep you after this.
They can't like, I'm saying, give him, like a return one like for next like, I'm saying summer. But they made it work like for like that summer. So they can make it work for like in the long term, it's probably like not going to act.
Abim, so it's only a white lie. It's only a small white lie.
Please, guys, I'm not part of this situation that we're planning here. But you know what? I think it's in moments like this where like my privilege of blue passports always casts. And I think always, who was it that Malik said what? I mean, doesn't remember when his passport is blue unless it's time for him to travel. That's something that you have to remember very often, because
and that one caught me. It caught me as the words are just leaving my mouth. I said, "Yeah."
Like it's one of those things where like I haven't ever had to worry about, and it's such a blessing to not have to worry about that, because in reality, like your life should not have to be this much of a gamble. Like you shouldn't have to do all of this just to prove like that you are the best person for the job in reality. I was going to ask this before. Because of my immigration status, I'm not knowing a lot about what's this visa, what's that visa,
paperwork, you apply here, you apply there.
So if you can just walk us through a timeline here, like when you arrive in the US, what visa are you arriving on, and what does that allow you to do?
Okay, so when you come to the US, you're on the F1, so that's the students. Like I'm saying, it's a single like intent, so it means that you're here like just for like I'm saying school. Right. So how it works is, they give you the visa for 2 years, knowing that, like a bachelor's like I'm saying 4, because, they want you to come back home to renew and all that. But like I'm saying, technically, like you can stay, in the US if your F1 like is expired, because the visa is just, like entry to somewhere. What that just means is that if you should, leave the US, you need to go back home to renew the visa, and they don't.
So you can only renew at home.
Yes, you can't, like, they don't, let you, do it here in the US, like, or go somewhere else. Like, for the most part, they tell you to go back, like, to your home country.
So I can go to Canada or Mexico, anything like that.
See, so I think, like, now, things are, like, changing, like, gradually, but the general, like, guidance is still here. Like, you have to go back, like, tonight. So, and that's not just with the F1, right? With the H1B, with anything, like, you have to go back home to renew. So
this feels very, it feels like gatekeeping in a way, because then now you're presuming that whoever it is that is showing up has the ability to pay to travel back home.
Absolutely.
To do that and then pay to come back again. Like,
those flights like are crazy. And it was easier, like I'm saying, in the past, because if you got in the initial one, right, the F1, 2 years, you go back home to renew, you just do the Dropbox. You don't need to show up to know, like interview. You just have to drop the passports, drop the documents to show that you're still like in school, and all that. And they'll give you like 2 years again. You come back and stuff. But then when like the last guy, like was in last president, he changed, like all that. So regardless of
he said the last guy,
you have to do an interview, and then that just kind of it gives room, like, for you, like, I'm saying, to go in there, and then, like, the visa, like, officer that just doesn't, like the answer that you give to one thing. So imagine, like, I'm saying, 2 years, you go back, trying to renew, and then something happens, boom, like, you don't, I'm saying, get the visa.
You don't get to come back.
And, so it's a long period. And that thing, it happened, like, I'm saying, look, I went in to renew, and they put me, like, under, like, some kind of, what's it called, administrative, what's it called, processing, right? I went back to turn up, like, I'm saying, December. It's January, everybody, like, is, I'm saying, flying back, like, to, like, school, and I'm still, like, in, like, night. And my visa came out in like, February, so I missed, like, a whole month, like, of the spring. So I was doing, had
Catch
to
up.
email like all my profs, to find ways to let me, like, you know what I'm saying, do the quiz like online, like from like night.
That's crazy.
Yeah. So that's the F1.
And then
Mhm.
F1 doesn't allow you work.
So it does. So with the F1, you then get a permit like to work, which is UPT. So
Okay.
if you're non-STEM, you get the 1 year. If you're STEM, you get you know what I'm saying, 3 years. So you get one, but then
Is
And
this
this is
post
after
graduation
graduation,
or
yeah.
while you're in school?
this is post-grad. So
So you cannot
Okay.
work while you are in school at all. Not even on campus job with an
so
F1.
you can, but if it's during like a semester, it has to be like on campus, and it has like I think fixed at 20 like a week. But
You can't work more than
during, like,
part-time,
the
yeah.
summer,
Okay.
yeah. But then if it's during like the summer, you can work like just a full-time hour like internship like anywhere. So that so that's
So
fine.
there's some flexibility to it.
Yeah, but does that count for your 1 year? If I do 2 summers full time,
No,
or if I do, it will count towards my OPT.
no, you can't do the PTA. No.
Okay.
Like
Okay.
they're kind of tied, but like if you because like I had like a homie that interned like you know what I'm saying 3 times, that he still got his 1 year OPT at the end.
Okay.
Like so like so if it's non-STEM, like you get the 1 year, and if you're STEM you get the
This is so crazy because remember how like in secondary school, like you know how school was split by like business students and science students and arts, and science guys used to feel superior because we thought we were smarter people. The US immigration system is literally saying you are a superior being. Please try and work for 3 years for us, and then after that, nothing for
right.
you.
You guys are So the next step probably so like companies so because UBT is an extension of the F1, right? Companies are trying to get you like something that is more like stable and like more work based, which then is the H1B, because the H1B is dual like intent, so you can work, you can do school, like you're like fine. So they're trying to get you to H1B, but then the problem is that there are many, but the first one is that H1B is only done once, like every year. So if you're on STEM, you basically have like one shot, like one try to get H1B. If you're STEM, you have 3, right?
3, yeah.
You have like 3 years. So the odds to man, like it's not great. It's like basically you have
We should actually look that up. How many people are typically
I was
putting their
wondering,
names in?
like, what's the probability wise? What are my chances? How
Okay.
many people are in there?
Yeah. So
How many people get accepted?
So every year, US is going to award what's called 55,000 H1Bs, right? 65K out of those are for if you have a like what's it called, bachelor's degree, which is like the minimum. So everybody that is going into like that lottery, like will have those, like 65K. Then there's an extra 20K if you have an advanced like degree, like a master's, a PhD, law school, all that stuff. So your odds are like better. So let's say it's 100K, like people, right? If you just have like bachelor's, 65% chance to get it. If you have an advanced P, it's 5% chance. So your odds are like more if you're into grad school, right? But then the problem with it now is that as years have like passed, right? Companies want foreign like what's it called, talent more. So the number of applications that are being like put in now is way more than the
Why do companies why do they want more foreigners?
Yeah.
I don't even think it's like a money thing. I just feel like they realize that that's really where the talent is. If you're coming from somewhere else to the US,
you're ready to die on this line,
right?
You will work that work. What?
Like
immigrant mentality.
You've left home. You know what I'm saying? And you're able to succeed at a high, like, you know what I'm saying, like level, right? Like, they rate that to like an extent. And so, yeah, so I think that's why. So the problem now is that, I think like 2 years back, we probably had, I think it was 350K like applicants, like in the pool. And you're picking,
80 something, yeah.
Like even that, that's going to bring you to slightly less than 25, like, percent, right, chance. And that's even, with like the grad school. So the odds like are worse if you only, have like a bachelor's with 65K. Now, last year we had 750K. So, like, do that math. Like for me, it came to like around 11, 12 like percent. So, yeah, wow. So you think about that, and it's like it's damn near, like impossible. But
yeah,
that number was inflated because people have just found ways to, put in, like their name like
3 or 4 times,
5 times.
How?
Inside that P.
Yeah, you work for like 5 different companies.
Exactly. And so, but regardless, right? Regardless, that problem still comes like from the government, because if you're given, like enough, like I'm saying, slots, right? People have less,
to cheat the system,
try,
yeah.
like, to be cheating. So some guys like would just, because I mean, people are going to turn it into, a like business, right? If I know that there's this need and I set up a big, company, and I tell you like to pay me, and I'll act like you work like for me in
and I'll apply for you,
like in sales, and I apply like for you. If you're doing that with like 3, 4, your company too, and you're in there, like I'm saying 5 times. But then, right, you would think that like I'm saying, the government is able to like look like and see why this guy's I'm saying name here 6 times. And be able to like,
that's somebody. They'll have to hire someone to go and do that, and government not paying for that.
Right.
And they definitely not hiring non-international, like international people either.
So they started that like this year now, where they don't use I'm saying the applications that the companies now put in like for you. They use your like your passport like number. So if, I'm saying identifier, like, so even if you have 10 like inside, it's just
one.
It's like to 1. But then it's like, why do you guys like, I'm saying, do these visits? Like, everybody like has known that this has been like an issue for like a long time, So, well, yeah, so that's the H1B, that's that process.
I have a question. Was like the visa situation, did you factor that into like choosing your degree?
Not really. Like, honestly, like, I always knew that it was going to be like engineering, like in some kind of
that one was pre-selected for him when he was before Popsy even put him on a plane. He pre-selected it for him. His dad didn't know any 1 or 2 things about STEM, but he just said, "My son, you do software engineering."
Right.
Abim, did you ever think of
engineering?
Your degree? Like, did you ever think, oh, I could, I mean, you don't have that issue, but do you ever think, well, I could get ahead in life with a STEM degree compared to other degrees?
I mean, yeah, I was also, I was a victim of the STEM kids and smarter kids in like secondary school. And so they always set stuff like, oh, the smart people will do more.
Yeah.
Science.
Yeah. Did you really get a choice? Because I was smart in secondary school. Did you really get a choice?
What do you mean? To choose?
Yes.
Oh, I mean,
or was it just assumed you'd be in science? Did everyone just like I can imagine if you had said you were doing art, it would have been a conversation.
Sure, actually, yeah. No, I wanted to, at the time I thought I wanted to be a doctor. So I defaulted to that, yeah, for sure.
Feyi, me, my father asked me what I want to be. I heard this guy, I want to be a film critic. He said, actually,
are you serious?
Yes.
Wow.
He said, that's really good, actually. That's good. There's a good program in Unilag for...
Why
for
did
that
you do
degree.
that?
Then
You can go and pick up the jam form and we can start working towards that. Because as far as me I know, it's only doctors and engineers that are going to America. So you decide. I said, I bet. I
That
said,
is
bet.
crazy.
So what do you now
That
do?
is crazy.
Engineering.
Yeah, look at where I am now.
Oh, that is crazy.
I will give them
Okay.
too safe. Enjoy now.
Oh, okay. So you've graduated. What was the job process like of actually finding that job for you?
Man, honestly, like I was scared of going to work like after I was done with undergrad because I still felt like I didn't really like know like anything, right? So my whole plan was, to go back to grad school like for sure. And so once that happened, and I graduated in like May of 2021.
So you have a master's?
Yeah.
So you had your master's before going to the workforce?
Yes, yeah.
Okay.
And so applications, I feel like it was kind of like a tech, like John saying, boom, kind of when I was going to graduate. So there were a lot of jobs, like interviews, like why not? Hard to find like it is now. So job process like actually like wasn't like too bad. I had to pick, from the offers like and stuff. So
he said we got options. Okay.
Like Johnson choice like to I actually picked I accepted like a job that was in Portland.
Oh wow.
Actually, and then like my company like now came, with like the whole thing, and then like it went through like the process, and they were like, yes, this job is in Texas. And I was like, yeah, I have to go and tell like the other guys, like, thank you, like
they stepped up their game.
Everything, yeah. So
okay.
That's nice. That's
so like,
nice.
what are the expectations with them?
You're smart. Don't lie to me.
Oh God, we just didn't maintain.
See, I suspected, but that's suspected. Okay.
So what's the relationship with work? So like at this point, they already knew your status. They knew that you'd be looking for H1B, all of that. What was their mood or attitude towards it? What was like dealing with HR like?
Me personally, like I don't really like say HR, but that's a different discussion. But so my company is kind of, it's like a global piece, so they know, like everything, like H1B, they have, an immigration team that, like understands like the process and all those things. So for me, I kind of felt, like secure, but I just knew that, H1B like didn't work, on like my last try, whatever, the solution was going to be, a big change, essentially. So I was going into my last year.
The OPT.
Once they sent out like emails in like February, to submit like all the documents for H1B for the lottery. HR they sent me like an email basically saying, like your part of the people that this is their last try for the H1B. So in case it doesn't work, we're going to put like a meeting, right, on like your calendar, like with you, your manager, HR, and the immigration team, just to walk through like the next steps. So once I got the email in like April, it like didn't work. We had the meeting like the next week, and basically they were like, yeah, what we do is we send you to another one of like branches like outside the US. The closest one is the one in like Toronto. So that was the option that they gave, and basically how it works is that there's a visa called the L1, so it's a different kind of work based like just a visa, and this one is not like a lottery, it's an actual application. And so the requirements are that you have to have worked for your company in the US for at least 1 year, and then work
Okay.
right, for that
And
company,
worked.
and then work for your company too in a branch that is outside the US for 1 year. So once you've done those, you know what I'm saying, two things, they're able to bring you back to the US like on L1. And so
Okay.
yeah, like I said, they told me, they're going to put me into the H1B two for next year. And so they kind of, you know what I'm saying, framed it in a way of, if you leave the US in like December, the best case, you get the H1B and you're able to come back, in October, because that's when the cycle starts for the H1B. And, the worst case, you don't get the H1B, but then we're able to bring you back on the L1. Right, yeah. So worst case, like you're out of the US for like a year, and the best case, like you're, out of the US for, I'm saying 10 months. So that was kind of like how, like, and so thought about it because, some options too, like there with, school, like doing like a second, like, I'm saying masters, and, I'm saying staying, in sports. That one, you have to be full time, like in school.
Yeah.
Like, so you get back, like, from your 9 to 5, and having to, open up on,
go back to school.
like, I'm saying campus, like, again. So that's going to be kind of wrong. So yeah, that's first step.
Are you limited for like leaving the country, like on vacation? Like, can you go visit friends in the UK, or you have to keep your ass at home, man?
I can go like anywhere, though. I can go because I have like a Canadian like visa, right? So if I want to go like to like nights, I can go to nights, like, what I'm saying, fly back here. So yeah, so at least now I kind of have like, what I'm saying, room to breathe. On like in the US, in the US, like your F1, has expired. You get the H1B, like, so you don't.
So if you have the H1B in the US, then you actually can't travel.
Wait, what?
So if you get your H1, if you are on the H1B application process in the US, you can't travel.
They don't like advise you to travel.
Because if you're locked out, yeah.
Right. And then also, like I said, right, OPT is an extension of the F1, and the F1 is for like, jobs in school. So if you're on, OPT and your F1 has expired, and then you go back home tonight, it means that you have to, like, renew. And then what do you want to tell them? Because you're no more like in school. Like, they kind of try to be like, oh, like, you're no more there, like, for school. So that's why, like, most guys here on OPT, if your F1 has expired, you're not going to go back home, like, till you get the H1B. And, like I said, who knows, like, when that's going to be. Like, I have, like, at home, the last time it was a night was like 2017. He hasn't seen his, like,
wow.
It's like Johnson sister, so the biggest stuff like that.
What about, do you have to like sign contracts with your company, like when they jump through all these hoops for you and do these applications and say, okay, we're going to take you to our UK branch, put you in a Canada branch, to try again for you? Do they try to get you to sign any long-term commitments or anything of that nature?
I can only speak like for like me, my company, and then no, there was nothing like that. It was just like, like, we like you, like, rock you, so let's see this process through. So
I'm really happy for you, honestly, that you have a company that like is taking care of you for the most part. Yeah, because a lot of them don't have that luxury.
Some people, their company doesn't even understand all this H1B. I don't know what you're talking about.
This guy said immigration team came. I said, oh, that's a professional. Yeah.
I said,
oh. Now, right? Like, my homie now, his company is like a smaller, like, one. So, like, he was going to be, like the third one, like, in their history that they're going to do all the other things for. So he had to actually get, like, lawyers, like, on his own, and then get them, like, on a call with his HR, his company's, like, legal team and HR to start to, explain to them.
You gotta explain.
Grab, like, what you're trying to, like, explain, because him, his company, they didn't have, like, a branch like
Yeah.
Canada
Yeah.
or like in the UK that they could
Yeah.
just like you have to do that. Like so, he chose the like getting the second like what's it
Degree
called?
route, yeah.
So he's
Yeah.
doing that with like you have to work. So
Yeah, that's another thing I've noticed too. Like for your best chances, like you actually like the competition is a cascading effect. You have to
Mm-hmm.
be first of all really good, at
Mm-hmm.
school, GP, all of that, because competing in the immigrant community is high. Then you
Mm-hmm.
have to actually work for these bigger multinationals that can
Mm-hmm.
act, that have the man hours to be devoting to have someone do your application, really know and understand the processes and all of that kind of thing. So you
Mm-hmm.
have to graduate, then graduate with good grades, then get a really good job at a really big company. Because even if
Mm-hmm.
you're good and you're working at a smaller firm, doing the same kind of work you love, you'll be handicapped in your immigration process.
yeah,
You
Yeah.
have to go big.
like there
You
are
have to go
people
big.
like there are companies that won't even like accept you doing like job saying school like at the same time like you work. So if your
Mm.
OPT is going to expire, they put you into the H1B, you didn't get it. Like they're just gonna say, hey, dog, like try.
That's all we got.
That's right.
That's all we got.
That's
Thank
right.
you so much for your time.
Right. So it gets like that. But like my company, like I said, they gave me the timeline, and my OPT was going to expire this year, January. So, and we knew like results of the H1B since April. They told me,
Mm.
if you choose like the Canada route, it's gonna take like John said 2-3 months to get like the visa, do the application, get everything back. And so I kind of had like some time to like John said think, do pros and cons, like what do I
Mm-hmm.
want to do, and then like John said.
Walk us through your
Which
pros
way?
and cons
I'm about to
list.
say,
Yeah.
which direction did you go in and how did you get there?
So I was looking at like the school like option, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then going to Toronto, and so that was like what the school thing does is that it just like I'm saying it gives you more like I'm saying shots at the H1.
Mm-hmm.
You're doing like a I'm saying 2-year P, and you're able to work and also be like
Mm-hmm.
it just means that cool like um you have like I'm saying 2 more jobs and tries, right? H1B, but
Mm-hmm.
even that if you did if you already tried like I'm saying 3 times it didn't work, right? Who's to say that
What are the chances? Yeah.
tried like
Yeah, spend back, go to school
gonna work?
again, just run it back,
Mm-hmm.
same thing.
Go to school
Mm-hmm.
like either you pay like for school or if you get like your what's it called company like to pay and they're gonna be like I'm saying hi cool like we'll pay, but once you graduate you have to stay here for at least like I'm saying 3 more years like for us to
Mm-hmm.
reap the benefits of the school that we paid for.
We pay for yeah.
Like I'm saying goes you two down if you want to like I'm saying change companies like all of that. So we like
I have a question. So the OPT for so you said it was 3 years for STEM, 1 for non-STEM. If you go and get a master's degree, does that 3 years still apply?
So how it works is that you can only get like OPT once for like each level of jobs at school. So if you do,
Okay.
So I did another undergrad, 0.
0,
Yeah.
Okay.
right? So once you do, the bachelor's, you
Mm-hmm.
can get like 3 years if your job's in STEM. Once you do a like what's it called, like a like masters,
Masters.
like a 3 years too. But if you want to now get another 3, it has to be PhD. You can't do
Is
it.
it a lie?
Mm.
If you
Why do I
do
feel like
that-
I do like 2? I do something like
Having
that,
multiple
yeah,
masters.
like 2 or 3 masters based on staying in school. I'll be staying
like I said, right, you can do it, but you won't get like OPT at the end. But
Okay.
like what's it called, CPT, which is what like you use like to work while you're still like in like school.
Okay.
That's what guys I'm saying. So you can't do that, but once you're done, like there's no whole 3 years like again after, unless you go up to a PhD. So Yeah, so
As far
This
as
guy has thoroughly been through the system
the
because he
guy
knows
he
all the
can give TED
different
talk, he
types,
can give
what
TED
works,
talk.
doesn't work.
no,
I'm
I've been talking
so
to like
glad that he knows.
no, bro, like bro, I've been talking like to my homies, right? I'm like, yo, coming here to the US, for like now I'm saying school, you're going to become, you know,
You
an
have to.
immigration
You have to.
expert. Like you don't have like
You have to. You don't have a
there's
choice.
so many things like that you learn. Like we even know like some stuff like what's it called happened to be like my boy that we didn't know. So I think he had graduated from his undergrad. He was going to start grad school. He had gotten an internship at Microsoft, right? Like they flew him out to like Johnson Seattle. He did, 5 rounds, like Johnson back to back. He got the offer. Everybody like his gas. This during like what we call COVID time. So they sent him, like a laptop, like all these things, like in the living room. Yeah, it's ready.
I'm about to cry.
Oh, yeah, it's ready. But I think so with OPT, right? You have to pay like for the application. When I was like in school, it was like 400 like at 10. I'm not sure
Dang.
like what the price is now. So you have to pay, but they had a thing where I think you could only put in you could only like I'm saying send in like the application for the OPT when you are within I think it's 60 days like to when you're going to graduate. So if I'm going to grad May, like I'm saying 5th, right?
You have to do 3 months before.
3 months, like or 2 months, something like I'm saying that. So I think he literally he sent in right his application. I can swear. I think like his I'm saying starting day would have been the 5th of like what's it called February, right? He sent his own on the 4th. Back then, we had to like, I'm saying, mail it in. I think now it's online now. So he sent it in on like the 4th. He gets to like, I'm saying, damn, on like the 7th. So again, like the people, they chose not to like, I'm saying, give it to him because he sent it in like on the 4th. And so due to that, he didn't get his OPT. So, I'm saying, Microsoft, kind of had to cancel like internships, but like they were nice. They deferred it, so they were like, if you want it next, I'm saying, yeah, like we got you. But so he didn't do it there, and so
He has to go home.
no, it was still good, but the effect of like that is that once you graduate school, like in like I'm saying May, right? Your like what's it called CVs. I'm saying record that it's like tied to like your old I'm saying visa, like that stuff. I think there's a period of what do you call it? Inactivity. So if it's not, like active, like after you like what's it called, graduate, they are going to just say, cool, this guy, should no longer be, in the US. If he had done the internship, it would have been
active.
He didn't do it. It was then inactive. So then nobody tells him, I'm saying shit. So he, doesn't do, the internship like in summer. It's unfortunate. Grad school, I'm saying starts, and he's getting like I'm saying like emails like from I'm saying school that he can't can he register for like any class. Like what's the issue? Long story short, because like his like what's it called CV thing was like what's it called like inactive. He basically like I'm saying cancelled like his whole job saying status in the US as a like what's it called student. So he had to go back. So he basically had to miss that whole fall semester, go back home like to like night,
start the whole thing.
Like, I'm saying, CVs, and then, I'm saying, come back to the US. So his first term was now, in the spring of the next year. And he missed, that whole fall just based on, like, all these, like, bro, he sent it in one day early. And he, like, couldn't do the internship. Due to that, this thing was
Couldn't go to school.
acting,
So,
couldn't go to school.
okay, but listen to me. This is what we're going to do now. Okay, everybody listen. We're going to start business, non-profits.
Non-profit.
As you land for school on that your first day, you have to go through immigration boot camp.
Man,
Yes.
Everybody
Yes.
needs to be aware of this, that.
Put in your calendar.
Everything is so sensitive. Boom, 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 boom. You come and be checking with us every day. We check your hair. You understand? So that
Yeah.
your future is not in turmoil.
Yeah, based on administrative time and processing time and all these things.
I said that as a joke, but really, I think that should be a service. If that's a service right there, you are doing something. You're doing something. Especially if you're a parent who, your kid is just going to be first time away from home. Immigration is going to be a big part of it. At least let it be structured up until they finish. That's a business right there.
Yeah.
I'm sure there are proud people actually doing this.
Yeah, I'm sure. Yeah.
So,
they should reach out to us.
Yes, let's talk.
So if you think about it, I was just thinking, if after you graduate, if it's not H1B, are there any other options?
It's really, really hard. There's the O1, but that one's kind of so there's the O1 and there's the self like petition for the green card, right?
Okay.
Like those two. But those are kind of based on, you're like you're known like in your field. So the people that
like exceptional
are like mostly guys like that, finish
on TV or stuff like that.
PhDs, because then you can say, okay, you presented here, you did this there. Like I'm saying, you guys, I'm like, I'm saying, know you in your like, research field, all those things. And now make that case, but if it's not, like a PhD, it's like really hard. Like to get there's something else that's not the H1B. That's kind of like the obvious
hypothetical. If you apply for those ones and they say get out of here, no thank you. Does that like cancel your chances with like H1B or like
no.
I have
separate things.
I don't know that US is wicked though.
They are wicked. They're wicked, but they're not devils. They're not devils.
They're not that wicked. Okay, fair.
We talked to an immigration lawyer. We also talked to someone who has run on these alternate immigration paths.
Yeah. I actually know somebody who did not get pulled for the H1B lottery, and he went to his company and was like, "Yo, I need you to specially sponsor me." Like, so he ended up getting his green card through his company.
Yeah.
Did you think that this man left them after 1 year?
Is he Nigerian? Normal.
Yes.
Yoruba man.
Yes.
Normal. Don't mean that.
Like how you get it sometimes, man.
Yeah, that's crazy.
So with the green card, it's kind of like most companies want you to be on the H1B. Like before, they start the process like with the green card. Because with the H1B, you're able to continue to renew it. So they know, however long the green card takes, this person is going to be fine status wise. But then if they start like the process for the green card, like for you while you are on OPT, that is like a fixed, you know what I'm saying? The green card should now take like, you know what I'm saying, longer than the period that you have left
on the OPT.
The OPT is not going to make sense, because I think now the average time for Nigerians to get the green card, through the company way is like 2.5, like, you know what I'm saying, 3 years.
Years?
Oh yeah. And the first part of the whole thing is your company, like, you know what I'm saying, basically has to prove to the Department of Labor that nobody that is a US like, you know what I'm saying,
do the job that you're doing.
Like you. So they are going to put out like your like job on like, you know what I'm saying, LinkedIn, in like magazines, in papers, interview guys, like go through a whole thing, and then come to the conclusion that, hey, if there's anybody that is close like to him,
bring your bill.
It will take them to like, you know what I'm saying, long to train up, like, you know what I'm saying, this person as opposed to just, you know what I'm saying, getting the green card. So that process probably takes like a year and a half ish, like out of like and a half years like to get the green card. Like so once you kind of get like you know what I'm saying past like that whole part, it's just like to be waiting like for them to actually like you know what I'm saying to award you like the green card. So dog, like at every step, if it's OPT, if it's H1B, the green card, you're having to prove like yourself like over
Yeah.
man. So
Yeah.
And that can take a toll.
That's exhausting. Yeah. I was going to ask, like, what? So it's obvious that you did not choose the education route and you decided to move to Toronto instead.
yeah.
So I guess how has this?
Enough for that.
What'd you say?
I said one masters was already like enough. Like
Yeah. Yeah, masters will kick your bum bum. It's very weird.
Please say you
It's
can't
very
pay me.
weird.
You can't pay me to go back to school.
Man.
Yeah, I'm done. How
I'm
has
sorry, I
this?
like your hair, by the way.
Thank you so much. Have you noticed that I'm not wearing headphones because it was gonna mess with the front. So thank you, and I just got a trim too. So
Okay.
Okay, Toronto. How are you settling in?
How was?
How are you settling in? How many months has it been now?
Low key, close to 5 now. Yeah.
Wow. Okay. So how is it?
It's been good. Honestly, weather here is like it's just like not cool, man. Like
Shite.
Yeah.
from jobs in Texas, like so, bro, snow, like all that stuff. Yeah, so that was pretty bad. But like this week, like actually, like is when things have been better. Like we're seeing, like you know what I'm saying, in 65, 67.
Summer way.
So I guess in there, but tradition like wasn't really that like you know what I'm saying. But I have like what's it called cousins here, that was
Okay.
nice to have there like help out with like you know what I'm saying, getting there, trying to get a you know what I'm saying, bank account, driver's license, like all the basic stuff. But
Setting you up. Yeah.
yeah, but besides you know what I'm saying that man, it's not too bad.
Nice.
How has it affected? I guess impacted you maybe financially, relationships, like just your outlook on life in general.
So it's funny, right? I was so sure that my company, like was gonna give me, like a relocation, like do you know what I'm saying, bonus. Like I said,
Nothing.
like we're doing like this visa fee, like for you, so you just have to sort that.
Yeah.
How do you feel about that, honestly? Do you think they're trying for you?
I feel like they are, but I feel like, man, bro, if I wasn't good at like my job, they would have said, yeah, dog, like you're not worth like that.
Fair enough.
fair.
Madam said, based on what I give you guys in those 8 hours, run it.
Dog, like,
Run it.
yeah, man. So like I wouldn't even, you know what I'm saying, lie. Like I was listening, man. Yeah.
Come on.
Like what are we doing? Well, yeah, I've been trying like to forgive them. I'm still.
Yes, I'm trying to forgive them.
Like every day, like at my work, I'm like, hey, dog, like, but still. But that's like
The sun just looks at you funny now. You just spark.
Yeah.
That's a go. I like you know what I'm saying 3 like every day. Like I don't think like I'm like you know what I'm saying wrong, man. But but yeah, it's been cool so far. Like I mean, relationships, like you know what I'm saying, friendships. It was actually. It's funny, right? So I did, like a party in Austin, like you know what I'm saying, going away, like, a party, like all of that, and then the next day, and I'll do like game night,
Game nights, yeah.
all my boys, like you know what I'm saying, flew in, to see me, and so at the end, like of the night, everybody is about to like leave, and in my mind, I'm trying to think, what am I, like going to look forward to. And I was like, I moved to Canada to take me, a little while to, you know what I'm saying, set up all those things. But once, I'm actually done, I know the city, it would be nice for my, you know what I'm saying, sister for my boys to like, you know what I'm saying, come here to, you know what I'm saying, turn up. And then I realized, I'm like, bro, all my niggas like also on, you know, expired like F1 though. So actually, guys actually can't come here to see me. So this is
Yeah.
actually, you know, like last time that I'm gonna see, you know, like everybody till I'm back like in the US or
Yeah.
you know, they get H1B and they're able to like just fly out. So I think that, you know, it hit me and I was like, oh, you know, yeah, bro, this is really, you know, cool to meet like you know, say next time. But yeah, man.
Mm.
Besides that, we just, you know, stay connected, man. At the end, I feel like for us that, you know, we went to boarding school and all these things, moving like just into the US, like with Canada, like just in general, wasn't that big of a thing like for me because I was used to not seeing like my mom, like my dad, you know, and all that. But yeah,
Crazy.
stuff.
That's
Yeah,
interesting.
yeah, that's tough. Yeah. My soul life view.
Yeah, like does that shock of like, wow, this is real life? Did that hit you at any point? Like,
That hit me like that night that like I'm, you know what I'm saying, talking about it. So no, I'm getting, you know, like on the plane. So my sister, she flew into to Austin too, right? Like with the party, like everything, and our flights like were around, you know, like the same time. So I was going to Toronto. She was going back to New York, and so I was trying to be like, you know what I'm saying, big brother, you know, like I'm still hard. And guys, she came to me, she was crying, and then you know, tried to go the other way, like to her own gate, and then you know, that hit me too, like, hey, dog, like this is really, you know, like this happened, dog. So yeah.
Bele, don't worry. Soon, everyone will be link up will happen. Don't worry.
Amen.
5 months down, 5 to 7 more to go, right?
Right.
There you go. I was gonna ask my final question.
Yeah.
Is there anything you would have wished to have done differently on this immigration path?
Honestly, I feel like the only thing that I probably would have changed is that maybe, you know, when you're doing the process, you know, of the interviews like and stuff, I think, you know, asking more questions about, you know, what the, you know, like the process, you know, do I have to be, you know, the H1B first, like before, you know, we do the green card, or am I, you know, able to do the green card straight? But the thing is like,
This is
we
with
don't really-
jobs?
yes, like with job,
Okay.
like out of school. But the thing is that we don't really, you know, like ask those things because for us, you just want like a job.
Just, guy, if you ask too many questions now, they'll be like, this guy, we're freeing
Like the last thing that you even want, you know, to remind them
is that you having
I need sponsor, I need H1B, I need all these things. So like, you know, you don't want to bring that up, or you know, I feel like, you know, if you're at this stage, like that's where you feel like, hey, you know, I'm going to get this job, or you know, I've gotten this job or something. Just asking more because there are some companies that once you start, right, on my OPT, they're going to start to process green card like for you. Some companies start to process like, you know what I'm saying, the green card and be putting you into the H1B too, like every year. So, you know, if you're getting no, like every year for H1B, at least you know that though, like green card
is moving along, yeah.
already 2 years in. So, you know, if the last one doesn't, you know what I'm saying, work, I'll still be like, you know what I'm saying, good, right? At the end of the day. So I feel like, you know what I'm saying, things like that, just to kind of know, you know, what the situation like would be. But like I said, with us, man, we already know that, you know, it's competitive. You're against, you know, all these US guys that don't even need like all the wala like that you need. So we're trying like to kind of be like, you know what I'm saying, quiet like that stuff. So but yeah, that's what I would say.
Alrighty. Thank you, Feyi. It's been an absolute pleasure hearing your story. I really appreciate it. I feel like
Honestly.
I'm now a lot more learned about the process now.
Yeah.
That's what happened, man.
Of course. Where can the people find you on the internet if you want to be found?
My IG is where it's Feyi, so you can hit me there.
Nice.
Nice.
You guys should contribute to our
GoFundMe.
Our GoFundMe for our African brothers and sisters in the
Hey.
Republic of Congo.
Mhm.
Yeah, I see.
And
So why you say it
and
like you don't know?
no, because we're doing two. So
Okay.
and the second country is Rwanda.
Sudan.
Sudan. Who said Rwanda
this-
here? Who said that? Feyi, why'd you say that? Feyi, why'd you say that? Why'd you say that?
Hey.
Bro.
And for the people who have contributed so far, thank you so much. We are moving really nice along, actually. I'm very proud of everybody who's dropping money and making me drop money as well.
Yeah. We're matching.
And yeah, don't forget to follow us, subscribe, and until next week, guys, and Feyi, until 5 to 7 months.
Yeah.
Inshallah, we'll see you.
Yeah.
All right. Bye, guys.
Thanks, guys. Bye.